Okay, wait. Is this the right one? Shitty. Shitty. No, it's shitty. Audio monitor. No, it just turns it off. Where's the one that's shitty? Shitty. You know, like, I don't even want to be here. What the added microphone. I can't. Fucking. Alright, it's shitty. You know what? I don't want to be here. I'm not here. As far as you know, you don't know. And now it's shitty on that. See, and I'm not editing either. You're getting the message that I am required. Am I required either? You're getting the message that you need to hear, and that's it. Alright? I have been putting this off because I didn't believe it, honestly. And I've been putting it off because it came and I rejected it, and then, you know, like, that had to end after a few years, and I saw the shit show of 2020 going on, and then I, you know, let it go a little longer because I really don't give a fuck. And I should warn you right now, anyone else that can't handle the F-bomb or anything else that might come out should just go ahead and get the message from your neighbor, because you need to be talking to them more. Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but don't get sick, but you need to be talking to your neighbor. And, so here we are, and I'm not a comedian. I do respect, and this will be probably loosely characteristic of Dennis Leary and Roseanne, some sort of merge of those two, which is kind of scary to think about. But those, you know, I have been ranting a while, and this is very uncensored, and that's the way you need to hear it right now, because you don't need to know, like, who I am or why I matter, and I don't. I'm not going to say that. But I am an atheist. You do need to know that. And I am awake. And I've always been very perceptive and empathetic, and I have taken on a lot of people's stories in a way to understand them throughout my life. And they help sometimes, but, you know, in 2020 they do not help, because they're all bad. Shit show. And it's gonna end. And it isn't about an election. That's not the solution only. That's just something that has to happen that was derailing things. And honestly, I don't even know what was derailing things. But the bigger problem is not fixing the problem. And I'm not Einstein. I'm not going to tell you the problem. I don't fucking know. But I do see the result of it. This is not a world that I can live in, let alone want to live in. I hear noise of upset and not knowing what to do, and then actual stories that come, you know, in all of our forms. It is bad. I have experienced bad. Bad that, like, you can tell close people the intimate details of, and, you know, you could make therapists and, you know, psychologists who have studied their whole lives jaw drop. I cannot tell you how many people are suffering. And it's not even visible because it's all layered. And there isn't an immediate fix for that, because we aren't even doing the things that we need to do for the dial tone, the foundation. Like, can everyone have shelter and survive, and, like, you know, are they being taken care of, and medical needs and all that? And I get it. We're at the end. It's like we're at max capacity, right? But so many people are still freaking asleep. And I don't know what else has to happen in 2020 for you to wake up and be part of the solution, whatever that is, and not just ignoring it, or worse, being part of the problem. So the message is, it's coming. It's not something that's just concisely, and you do have to remove obviously the tone that it's coming in, but for centuries, people have derived right and wrong from books and stories and their own interpretations and other people's interpretations, and like the problem comes when you draw a conclusion from any of it and think that it's right and not open to change. And the problem comes when you ignore or acknowledge that other people have the same problem and they're drawing conclusions and think that they have a right to them and that they're right, and you're all right, but you're all wrong. And here is the atheist to tell you, I do not want to be here. I'm telling you that I spent my whole life going, nope, it's bullshit. You believe? Virgin my ass. It's a nice story, but there are actual things to learn from all that shit. Case in point, though, there is a version of like the most famous one that's from 900 AD that's apparently in the basement of the Vatican that not a lot of people have had access to until recently. And the scientist in me, which I'm happy to say, no, and the non-religion denier in me says that all of you that are truly not me and like that and believe that and have a life based on that should take two things into just take two things in that are very neutral, right? You could be upset when you find out what's in the other one. Okay, like start there. So don't let it I don't know. I can't say look to your higher power because it's been morphed, I think, by this existence of the wrong book that you've probably been carrying and reading your whole life. And the second thing is somehow get the right book. I don't know how. It's in a different language, apparently. Somebody's trying to translate it. That's where all problems came from, so let's not have that again. And also, I don't fucking care. I don't do that. Don't do that. It's not the solution to me. It's fine. Do it. I don't know. Don't do it with the wrong one, because the older one is probably the closer to the right one than the wrong one. Done. All right. I'm a little excited about that. All right. Not in that way. So, priority one is shit show ends now. But, so everybody's like, oh, we just need 2020 to be over. I'm also here to tell you that that's not some magical... Oh, it's New Year's. Yay! I'm not even celebrating. I don't want to taunt fate. Okay, so January 1st is not the end, necessarily. And I would love it if it was January 3rd, and it's a Saturday, it's a weekend, and it works out well. But the shit show has to stop soon and not come back ever again. And that's a big undertaking because there's a lot of shit that we collectively have ignored. Okay, I've ignored it. Or participated in for years and decades. And we built shit on top of shit that wasn't even right shit. And then there's shit coming out of something that's broken that we shouldn't even have in the first place. I'm telling you, all that shit doesn't matter. Just bullshit. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. no, I can't live in this world. Nope. And I've tried. Nope. I've tried a lot of things. Nope. Done. 2020, you can call it done. We call it the shit show. We can pretend it's on 1/1 that we start over. I really hope it is. Or sooner than that. Those of you saying that it's January 22nd at the 12th hour of the 19th day, leave that shit for Nostradamus. I'm not him. You're not him. He wasn't even right all the time. He probably knows more than I did. So let's just take this in for a second, all right? Christmas is canceled, first of all. And it's moved to next June or July or whenever you think it is. We're not having it. I'm sorry. Bad. You don't deserve it. And we've got shit to do to get rid of the other shit. So just stop. Just stop. There's nothing to celebrate right now. For those of you who celebrate other 8 religions that I do know some things about, I can just tell you that I disrespect you all equally at this point. And the first one that gets on board with, let's go back to the roots and figure this out and not just take anything for granted, I will not criticize you at all. Anyone that's part of the solution, I will not criticize. But when you read that book that is 900 AD instead of 2000 whatever and translated, and the thing that I said about it's going to rock some people's world, and maybe, thank God, grandma's gone, because me telling her I was gay is going to be like nothing. She'd be laughing and eating her turkey, taking her lithium. It would not fucking matter when this one comes out, so... I don't have it on the bestseller list. That I could be profiting from this. I could be one of the people that's caused this problem, basically. So let's go there now. We've seen a lot of wealth, and we can all be critical of it, and its materials are not important. And the reality is that we have the game and we have our beliefs, and they have gone like this, like a inappropriate. All right. So the game is like what we do to survive the nonsense that is the game. Call it the Matrix, call it Inception, call it whatever you want. It's bullshit, most of the time. So if you take all the good people you like out of the game and you put it into the belief column and you just have the game, that's what I'm talking about. That needs to change. That shit's gotta go in some cases. It's gotta be redesigned. The people over here that you like, that you value, and that have the right ideas and that you follow and you go with, and they, hopefully they aren't scammers and they aren't in Congress, and they aren't in eating children, whatever the fuck that was. But you've taken the people that you believe in and are gonna get something out of and hopefully go somewhere with or whatever, and you need to build the game over again while radically just rejecting every ounce of fucking bullshit that you see, and you need to become an evangelist about getting rid of bullshit. Like I am going to become. But you're not going to know me because I'm done after this. I swear to God. I am not an influencer. Do not follow me. Do not try to find me. You can freaking just blow the whole thing up in 5 minutes and tell everybody some truth about me. And they'll be like, oh, I know it. I'm not that I don't want to be that person. Go away. I would have done anonymous, but it's been done and it's wrong too. So here we go. All right. If you haven't been paying attention, people are dying, right? And we're trying to deal with that. In some cases, we're doing better than others. But it shouldn't be tied to bullshit in the game at this point, right? Can everybody get there? Or do we have to talk about that? You're dying, okay? We either can help or we can't, and we should help, right? You want to put it to a test or a trial or something? They're in jail so they don't matter as much or something stupid like that. That's stupid. I'm not even going to go with any of the thoughts or values or beliefs or anything. The fact that you would go to that level in your thought process is stupid. Even if you believe all that stuff exactly as it's written, you're not God. You better not be doing that, because you're going to hell, Missy, and I'm using it against you because I got it and I can use it against you. So life matters, right? No shit, I said that. Fuck. Yes, like it's life. The fact that this is impacting people that are disadvantaged or of different backgrounds, and it's not just Black, apparently, like, it's the other direction too. Like, some people that aren't impacted are, different makeups of DNA, and we don't even know them all yet. There's so much we don't know yet. I heard, like this talks about all kinds of things that could be factors that are in your environment. Like, what the? It's like I'm gonna get sued now. Luckily they don't know who I am. So anyway, if we could just get to a point where we can all say that regardless of whoever it is, life matters, then we can just leave that one alone for a minute. Because if they're a problem with something else, it's something else. We're not dealing with it at this moment. If they're stuck in jail, they deserve to be given the same opportunity to survive. Just because you're controlling their every move, and I could go on about that, and the disparity there, and how that's already ingrained in the U.S. Justice system, and we all know this, right? I mean, we may not believe it, and we may not like to talk about it, but we get it now, I hope. And if you don't, you're not paying attention, and you need to fix it. It shouldn't be some no-name coming out to tell you a message that I don't even fucking want to do, that you get a clue and wake up. Especially if you're a fucking leader in some organization, or in the country, or in Congress, or in local government. You need to know this. I can't tell you how many times I almost burst laughing listening to some of the nonsense that comes out of some of these leaders during a regular, update reports or something like, oh, I don't believe there's like a problem with the systemic in the system. I was like, I've known that for, since I could, talk. Where the hell are you, and how did you get where you are, if you can say that with a straight face? You belong in Hollywood, not on freaking TV talking about how to save lives, because you don't get it. So that's my thing right there. You can have the wrong opinion, but if you're just not awake enough to get it to a certain level, then people need to put them in the bullshit column and radically just, they're gone. And I don't understand how it can happen to some people that have influence. And I could name some names, but I don't think I should. Like, there can be a thing where somebody's opinion comes up and everybody just jumps to it, right? And it's not wrong. It's just, but what happens might be wrong because we rush to the conclusion, and the things that happen as a result of even talking about it end up being the punishment for the person involved. And then, in some cases it's catastrophic. It's over. If they're in media or broadcast or anything, done. And it's a problem because it's not wrong, but it's also not right, because we're judging and we're not having the discussion before it happens. So that's not free speech, right? Even if I don't agree with it. If it causes hate, then sure, go down that path. But it's like, this is an Ambien rant, right? I'm not here, you don't know who I am, and I'm on soda. Diet, of course. But at least I can say it, and hopefully somebody is listening, and they tell somebody they need to wake up, because that's the next thing. When you see sheep around you that are eating up the bullshit, you gotta tell them, hey, you're eating bullshit. I don't disagree with what you're talking about, But you gotta go look at 8 other things and then come back and reevaluate this. But then sometimes they're just eating the bullshit. And it's like, you really think that's more important? So you ask them a few other things and just verify it. But what you're going to do next is why it's important. At the end of it, let's do it. Like, okay, so you think that because 5 people live in the same house and grandma's there too, that they chose that, and that's why XYZ. I don't know, like, we shouldn't, like, it's their thing. We don't need to help them more. They chose that, like we say, like, older people need to stay away from younger people to not die, right? And they inherently don't have, for whatever reason, it may not be, but the ability to, like, separate, right? They share a bathroom or whatever. But everybody's ignoring the fact that they didn't choose that necessarily, and they may not have many other solutions, and they may not have many coping skills to get through it, or the support to get through it. Now, I'm not saying go the other way, right? It's like, there's personal responsibility, but there's a line too that was explained many times, I think, in classes or something. It's one of the few things that I listen to that I actually remember. It's like, to live in a civilized world, we all agree on certain standards, and to live in a first world, which is going to be hurtful for you guys to hear in the US, and I'm not there anymore, although I am from there. I do live in otherwise locations. The whole world, nobody has it right. No one. But I tell stories, and they don't believe me here in Europe. So in the US, if you need medical care and you don't have enough money to get to the hospital, and you just say you have a regular appointment, right? But you're having some breathing problems maybe or something. It's a thing. It's a fucking thing. 911. And then you find out, oh, well, their Obamacare is expired because they didn't pay the tax or whatever the hell it is, right? Or some loop, so they're going to go on state covered, and then all of a sudden it's billed to Medicaid. So $3,500 for a nice ride in an air-conditioned ambulance with 2 people attending to you, giving you oxygen as required, versus the bus, which you can't even get on because you don't have the fare because of, you have to ask the whys, but you have to do it 5 times, right? So you ask the initial problem. So why can they not get to their appointment? I don't have to go much further, but so they don't have the money, right? And then maybe the appointment's further away because they have to go to the free option. Or maybe it's the wrong time because it's the free option. Or maybe it's not even a free option, but it's like they don't have a car, and they live far enough away from, like, the bus, and it takes 2 hours, and they legitimately have a breathing problem. In Europe, they send you a cab paid for, and the cab invoices somewhere we don't even know and don't understand, and do you need help to the door? That's first world country. Letting the situation happen where somebody that doesn't have enough money that needs to get to an appointment charge $3,500 because that's all they can come up with, that's second world. And instead of being mad at the person, you should be mad at the system that allows that to happen. And you should be the one saying, I'd rather pay for a shuttle that picks up 8 people in that situation and drives them to the same facility than paying $3,500 a pop through taxes. And that's where I get it. Some of the kind of just the hypocritical logic that's been lost of the Republican Party. It's like it was good foundational logic that has just been allowed to be morphed because it's summarized. You have to go to the root cause on every friggin' thing to realize how fucked it is. And then you have to use a sledgehammer and tweezers to fix it. And instead of doing that, in the absence of data, you can't just say, well, that person is a lowlife and can't take care of themselves. Blah, 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 blah. It's the wrong conclusion, and it doesn't fix the problem. And I'm with you. We shouldn't be paying $3,500 for somebody to get to the hospital. It doesn't need to bother the EMTs that could be saving somebody else's life that just got in a car accident. It's wrong. This is not a good use of time. Bad use of money. But that's the last thing I said. And it's the first thing you say. And that's why I say fuck you. Because if you can draw that conclusion, then you can be the one burning the corpse on the street in a third world country and thinking nothing of it. And the message is, for those of you asleep, wake up. For those of you awake, help people wake up. For those of you with false narratives, take a break. There'll be plenty of days to come if everyone pulls it together. And to my former home life country, you are a few bad decisions and a few bad weeks away from being a third world country instead of a second world country.